So these two independent innovators disrupted the instant messaging business, and they also disrupted the business of giant telecom providers worldwide. So the internet has already begun to disrupt, has already disrupted and democratized publishing, media, communications, with hundreds of new participants pouring in with podcasts, blogs, YouTube videos, Facebook and web pages. And what happened in the world of bits in cyberspace is now happening in the world of atoms and push-button manufacturing. The tools of production are now available to individuals. Disruptive technologies, $1,000 3D printers, prototyping tools, laser cutters, easy-to-use design software, off-the-shelf electronics. These are all changing the economics of production, changing who can be a manufacturer, who can be a creator, and putting the power of production into the hands of the individual. An individual innovator can now design and make a product without owning any manufacturing infrastructure. No warehouse, no assembly line, no heavy production equipment, no inventory. Things can be made through microfactories or through production contracts. It used to take cumbersome bank transfers, letters of credit, purchase orders if you wanted to really create a manufacturing enterprise and assembly line in China, in Mexico, in Vietnam, in the United States. But now you can do it with a text message. Now you can do it with a PayPal account, a credit card, or an email. The economics of the transaction costs are being turned upside down, completely on their head. And people are now gaining the same power as largest corporations once had. Today, 3DR drones, a spin out of a do-it-yourself drone company, now competes at the low end against all the world's largest global aerospace companies. And a wireless headset and wearable device maker like Jawbone, which was founded by two college friends in a garage with no factory, now competes against consumer electronics giants around the world. These are independent innovators transforming into global high-tech businesses. So what does all of this mean? What does it mean for us in this room? The traditional institutional linkages between invention and innovation, between capital and production, are being completely severed. With these new models, barriers to entry are falling, crowds are pouring in, and a disruptive force unlike that which we have ever seen is being unleashed upon the world. The collective power and the potential of millions of innovators. This has major implications for countries around the world as we all seek to leverage our competitive and creative assets. Increasingly, more and more people will have the chance to become innovators, owners of capital, and manufacturers. This is a stunning historical development with tremendous economic and social potential. The powerful revolutions that I discussed in technology are shaping not only the future but our present day. They are determining where economic activity will flourish, where wealth will be created, how humans will make progress, and how society will advance. The countries, the companies, the people who can best navigate the competitiveness landscape as it shifts beneath our feet, and who can best leverage the technological revolutions to create innovations across every dimension of human society, these will be the ones who flourish in the 21st century. And there is a lot at stake. This is why competitive enablers and optimizing the function of innovation ecosystems is becoming really a core priority for many nations and must rise to the forefront of national agendas and societal concerns, even here in Egypt. In 2004, the U.S. Council on Competitiveness, where I am lucky enough to work, released our landmark National Innovation Initiative and our Innovation America Agenda. That was the result of deliberations of thousands of stakeholders across the United States, where we considered how best to optimize our society for a future in which we contended that innovation would be the single most important factor for long-term productivity and prosperity. The NII, the National Innovation Initiative, that's what we call it, really identified three core pillars: talent, infrastructure, and the investment in innovation, research and development, and entrepreneurship, which really underpin a holistic understanding of competitiveness. Let's take the first pillar, talent. Competitiveness is driven by a nation's ability to leverage its talent, and people are the sources of ideas. People innovate. High priority factors that we must all take into account as we think about optimizing our own innovation ecosystems. First of all, fostering excellence in education. We also have to foster entrepreneurship. And we have to ensure that creators, designers, and innovators have the wherewithal to turn their ideas into innovations and new industries, new companies. We also must nurture the high skills, the creativity, and the ability and adaptability to change across the workforce broadly, because few people, few organizations, and few disciplines have all the necessary resources for truly global, high-value, game-changing innovation. The skills base we have to cultivate in our societies must span the arts, the humanities, the social sciences, business, design, marketing, finance, as well as the sciences and engineering. The second pillar for a globally competitive innovation ecosystem is infrastructure. And I will take the example that Ashraf provided this morning in his opening remarks. Let's look at the mega Suez Canal development project. With tens of billions of dollars in investment in new infrastructure along the canal corridor, this can be truly transformational, not only for Egypt, but for the world. This could be a game changer for driving long-term development of a world-class industrial, manufacturing, and logistics hub that can truly become the artery of commerce between Europe and Asia. This infrastructure could serve as a platform for a wide range of innovations. It could become the showcase for clean energy, solar, wind, energy reuse from waste. This project could also reignite a new industrial awakening, generating billions in new revenues and thousands, but if not hundreds of thousands, of new jobs. And beyond bridges and broadband, infrastructure must also include things like economic and tax policies, because they affect the cost of capital and the mobility of capital that was needed for investment in research and development, innovation, and manufacturing. Also of vital importance is a nation's legal and regulatory framework. Policies that are important include, first of all, a regulatory environment that makes it easy to start a business, but also easy to shut one down. Second, a balanced approach to regulation must ensure safety, corporate responsibility, and environmental protection, but it cannot heavily burden or overburden business. And finally, we must focus on the protection of intellectual property rights. The third pillar for innovation is really focus on investment, and particularly patient capital for investment in research, technology development, innovation, manufacturing, and new business formation. With this fundamental three-pillar framework, there are dozens of factors that interplay to affect competitiveness and productivity across countries. There frankly is no one-size-fits-all model. Competitiveness drivers, challenges, and approaches are diverse around the world. The global competitiveness landscape reveals a complex tapestry of stages of development, diverse competitive factors, ever-changing conditions, a country's strengths and weaknesses. The field truly is rich and ripe for ongoing investigation and insight. So in closing, with the continued evolution of global commerce and the unfolding revolutions in technology that I discussed earlier, the cycle of creation, growth, disruption, decline, and destruction will continue into the future. Reorganizing around these new technologies and shifting competitiveness trends is a dynamic and turbulent process as new companies come and old ones go, as capital and human resources reallocate, as market shares shift, as supply chains reorder, as industry clusters rise and fall, and as jobs are gained and as jobs are lost and gained again. While this is a challenging process, this churn really is the beating heart of innovation, and it is fundamentally essential for getting the most jobs, the most growth, the most productivity, and the most wealth out of a nation's competitiveness and innovation assets. And in this churn, countries must pay attention to and must focus on how efficiently and quickly they reorganize their economies to leverage new technology and seize market opportunities, and how to ease the transition for those displaced by disruption and change. For true competitiveness rests on the efficiency in which countries allocate their productive resources and in their ability to leverage their imagination, their insight, their ingenuity, and their invention for impact, productivity, and prosperity. Thank you.